You invest $500 every month. That is $6,000 a year coming directly from your paycheck. Now imagine opening your brokerage account and seeing that your portfolio produced roughly another $6,000 over that same year. You contributed $6,000. Your money produced $6,000. That is the first moment the weight begins to shift. And it leads to a much more useful question than, when does compounding finally get powerful? How large does your portfolio need to become before your money can realistically produce as much annual growth as you're contributing yourself? The answer is not automatically $100,000. It is not $250,000 either. And there is no single magic number that applies to everyone. Your personal heavy lifting number depends mainly on two things: how much you invest each year, and what long-term return assumption you use. That means someone investing $300 a month reaches a different crossover than someone investing $1,000 a month. And here is the strange part. Increasing your contributions can help you build wealth faster while also pushing your heavy lifting number higher. That sounds backward. It isn't. It simply means you are personally carrying more of the load. In this video, we'll calculate that number at several contribution levels, show what changes after you reach it, and explain when your portfolio can move from merely helping to doing most of the heavy lifting. If you enjoy realistic investing explained with simple math, leave a like, subscribe to Narrative Finance, and stay until the end. Because once you know your number, slow progress starts looking very different. Here is what most investors misunderstand about compounding. It does not suddenly wake up one day. The same percentage is working from the beginning. What changes is the amount of money that percentage is working on. Take a simple 7% return assumption. 7% on $10,000 is about $700. 7% on $50,000 is $3,500. And 7% on $200,000 is $14,000. The market did not suddenly start working harder. The math did not become more powerful. You simply gave it more capital to work with. That distinction changes how you should think about the early years of investing. At first, there is one dominant worker building your wealth: you. Your paycheck creates the contributions. Your contributions create most of the visible progress. And when the portfolio is still small, even a strong percentage return produces a relatively small dollar amount. But every contribution changes the equation permanently. That $500 you invest this month does more than increase your balance by $500. It becomes additional capital that can potentially earn returns next month, next year, and years from now. Over time, a second worker becomes increasingly important: your accumulated capital. At $10,000, it barely feels noticeable. At $100,000, normal market movements begin representing thousands of dollars. At $200,000 or $300,000, those same percentage moves can rival what many investors contribute over an entire year. So your money was never weak. Your financial workforce was simply small. And once you understand that, the next question becomes obvious. Exactly how large does that workforce need to become before it can match the amount you're adding from your paycheck? Now we can calculate your personal heavy lifting number. The formula is surprisingly simple. Take the amount you contribute in 1 year. Then divide it by the annual return you're using as a long-term assumption. Annual contribution divided by expected annual return equals your crossover balance. Let's use 7% purely as an illustration. If you invest $300 a month, you contribute $3,600 per year. Divide $3,600 by 0.07, and your heavy lifting number is roughly $51,400. At $500 a month, you contribute $6,000 per year. $6,000 divided by 0.07 gives you roughly $85,700. And if you invest $1,000 every month, that is $12,000 per year. Divide that by 0.07, and your number rises to roughly $171,400. Now think about what those numbers actually mean. Around $85,700, for example, a 7% year would represent roughly $6,000 of portfolio growth. That is approximately equal to an entire year of $500 monthly contributions. You put in $6,000. Your existing money potentially produces another $6,000. That is the crossover. But there is an important catch. The market does not deliver 7% like a paycheck every year. One year could be negative. Another could be up 15%, 20%, or more. So your heavy lifting number is not a promise that your portfolio will suddenly generate that amount every year. It is a conceptual milestone based on a long-term return assumption. And that is why there is no universal number where your money starts doing the heavy lifting. Your number depends on how much weight you are carrying yourself. Once you know your heavy lifting number, you can see the journey in 3 levels. Level 1 is where you carry the portfolio. Suppose you invest $500 a month, or $6,000 per year. With $25,000 invested, a 7% year represents about $1,750. Your contributions are still doing far more work than your existing capital. That is normal. Level 2 is where you begin sharing the load. As your portfolio approaches roughly $85,700, the math starts balancing. At a hypothetical 7% return, your portfolio could grow by about the same $6,000 you contribute during the year. This is where investing can begin to feel psychologically different. Your paycheck is no longer carrying almost everything. Your accumulated money is becoming a meaningful partner. Then comes level 3. Your money starts carrying more than you do. At $250,000, a 7% year represents roughly $17,500. You are still contributing $6,000. But your existing capital could potentially produce almost 3 times that amount. At $500,000, the same 7% represents $35,000. Now a normal percentage move can equal years of personal contributions. But reaching this stage does not mean your contributions suddenly stop mattering. Every new dollar still expands the capital base. And every larger base gives future returns more money to work on. The difference is simply who is carrying most of the weight. First, it is you. Then you share it. Eventually, your money can carry far more. But there is a strange consequence when you decide to increase how much weight you personally carry. Here is where your heavy lifting number creates a strange paradox. Suppose you are investing $500 per month. That is $6,000 per year. Using our 7% assumption, your crossover sits around $85,700. Now your income increases. Instead of allowing every raise to disappear into a bigger lifestyle, you increase your investment to $1,000 per month. You are now contributing $12,000 per year. That is a huge improvement. But something strange happens to your heavy lifting number. $12,000 divided by 7% gives you roughly $171,400. You doubled your contribution. And your crossover doubled too. It almost looks like investing more pushed the finish line farther away. But that is the wrong interpretation. The line moved because you became a stronger worker inside your own wealth-building system. Your portfolio now has to produce $12,000 before its annual growth can match what you are personally adding. That is a good problem to have. So never turn the crossover into a competition between you and the market. The goal is not to make your portfolio outperform your contributions as quickly as possible. The goal is to build as much productive capital as your financial life reasonably allows. When you receive a raise, consider increasing your 401k contribution before the extra income becomes normal spending. Do the same with part of a bonus or additional income through an IRA or brokerage account when appropriate. you may move your heavy lifting number higher. But you can also build toward it much faster. And that matters because the hardest part of this journey usually happens long before your money becomes the stronger worker. Before your money can do the heavy lifting, you have to survive the years when it feels like you are doing everything. You earn the money, you save it, you transfer $500 into your investment account. Then you check the balance, and the market seems to contribute almost nothing. That creates what I call the effort gap. It is the psychological difference between how much effort investing requires from you and how little visible reward your portfolio seems to provide early on. A $500 contribution feels real. You remember the hours you worked to earn it, but an $80 or $120 market gain barely registers. And when that pattern continues for years, it becomes easy to wonder whether the sacrifice is worth it. Then real life adds pressure. Rent increases. Mortgage payments continue. Healthcare gets expensive. Childcare can consume thousands of dollars. The car needs repairs. Or a layoff temporarily changes every financial priority you had. Sometimes reducing or pausing contributions is necessary. That does not mean the strategy failed. Consistency does not mean financial perfection. It means returning to the process when your circumstances allow it. The dangerous mistake is assuming that slow, visible progress means your invested dollars are accomplishing nothing. Every dollar that remains invested is part of the base your future returns will work on. And that base is exactly what eventually closes the effort gap. The early years demand more from you because your capital cannot carry much weight yet. Your job is not to force it. Your job is to keep building its capacity until it can. And there are several practical ways to make that happen faster without chasing unrealistic returns. So how do you shorten the years when your paycheck has to carry most of the load? Not by chasing unrealistic returns. You do it by putting more capital to work efficiently. The first accelerator is your contribution rate. When your income rises, increasing what you invest can matter enormously. Early on, adding another $200 per month may do far more for your trajectory than trying to find an investment that might earn an extra 1% or 2%. The second accelerator is an employer match. If your company matches part of your 401k contribution, that is additional money entering your portfolio without the full amount coming from your take-home pay. The third is tax-advantaged space. A 401k, Roth IRA, and HSA can each offer different tax advantages that may allow more of your money to remain invested under their respective rules. The fourth accelerator is staying invested. Trying to repeatedly jump out before market declines and back in, before recoveries sounds appealing. Doing it consistently is extremely difficult, and missing strong recovery periods can damage the capital base you spent years building. None of this means assuming the S&P 500 will deliver 7%, 8%, or any specific return every year. Our numbers are illustrations, not promises. Markets will be uneven. The objective is to control what you actually can. How much you contribute, how efficiently you invest, how diversified you remain, and whether you stay committed through volatility. At first, your paycheck builds the portfolio. But if you keep expanding that capital base, something eventually changes. The portfolio you built with your paycheck can begin producing amounts that look increasingly like another source of earnings. Eventually, you can reach a point where your paycheck is no longer the only major force building your wealth. You are still working. You are still contributing. But now your accumulated capital is working beside you. Think back to our $500 per month example. You contribute $6,000 per year. At first, almost every meaningful increase in your portfolio depends on money coming from you. But as the balance grows, ordinary percentage returns begin representing amounts that once took you months to save. That is when your portfolio starts behaving almost like a second earner. not a guaranteed paycheck, not predictable income arriving every month, but a large enough capital base that market returns can potentially add meaningful amounts without requiring additional hours from you. Your income creates contributions. Contributions create capital. Capital creates potential returns. Returns can expand the capital base. And eventually, that base becomes large enough for your money to carry more of the load. Just remember that your heavy lifting number is personal. Someone investing $300 per month has a different crossover than someone investing $2,000. So don't rush to make your money outwork you. Build enough capital that eventually it has no choice but to. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share it with someone who feels like investing is still moving painfully slowly. And let me know in the comments. Which milestone are you building toward right now? $50,000, $100,000, $250,000, or beyond? Thank you so much for watching. God bless, happy investing, and I'll see you in the next video.